Day 17, and we got a dusting of snow. So I'm going to stay in my backyards, and today I'm going to introduce you to my dogs. There's Chloe, and there's Mallory. They have been watching me go out the door early in the morning without them for more than 2 weeks now, and they're like, what's up, lady? We don't appreciate this. So I'm just going to stay in my yard today and join them and let them join me. And we're not going to see the sun this morning. Not going to happen. Snow clouds still in the air. We just got the edge of this storm that came through the last 24 hours. We only got a dusting. I know many people not too far from us got inches and inches. Anyway, so what am I thinking about this morning on this Martin Luther King Day? For whenever you are watching this, that is what today is, Martin Luther King Day, January 17th of 2022. And boy, that talk about, I just talked about legacy a couple of days ago. Talk about a legacy. We have a holiday named after him. You can't hear his name without conjuring up quotes. You probably all know, I have a dream. And we're still working on that dream. We've made a lot of progress. I think he would be happy. Well, maybe he wouldn't be happy with the progress, but he might be able to recognize that progress has been made, but we still have a long way to go. And, change is hard. Change on the individual level is hard. So then when we take a lot of individuals together as a collective and a population, and like a country as big as the United States, it's going to take a while. It's going to take generations because it's got to do new things through that. Because unfortunately, we adults, we raise children and we teach them what we know and we pass on our beliefs. And so it takes a while for new beliefs to hold, and then we have to have social proof, and we're complicated, especially when we are looked at collectively. But it can happen. It has happened. We have so many examples through history that are proof. So I will hopefully do my best to be the change that he wanted to see in the world, that I want to see in the world, raise my children with the right attitudes towards their fellow human, no matter what their race, color, gender, whatever is. We are all made in the image of God. All made in the image of God. And Jesus was born in the heart of the Middle East, in Northern Africa, in the Middle East. And we want to whitewash him. No, I don't think so. Anywho, the concept that I was really thinking about as I was doing my morning devotion and reflecting, and a lot of things that a concept that I used myself and I use a lot in my coaching is this question of even if. A lot of us want things, like it's a desire. Like, I want to lose weight. I want to be a better parent. I want to drink less. I want to eat better. I want to exercise more. But we really don't follow that rabbit trail down, like really get specific with it. Okay, what is that? What exactly do I want? And what is it going to take to get there? And then what are the consequences? Like, even if, because we're talking about people and being in relationship to each other. And first we're in relationship with ourselves. But then we have to worry about, well, if I change and I make this big change And yeah, I really do want it. But what if so-and-so is not happy with it? What if, it causes this problem in my community or my church? Or, we have a lot of fears in relationship to ourselves, other people, our lives, our current situation. Maybe it's a job or an employment. Like, do I really want that? Even if, because if you can follow that rabbit trail down and still say yes, 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 even if, yes, even if, then you're on to something. You're on to a true vision. You can tap into the commitment that it's going to take, the stick-to-itiveness that it's going to take, even on days like this. When, my comfy recliner and a hot cup of coffee was, very inviting and very like, oh, this would be nice to just sit here a little while longer. But I had done this even if practice with myself. Like, even if I will find a way when there's even like torrential downpours or, like I'm going to have to deal with the reality of weather and lack of sleep and, all of these things. I've had to do it before when when you have have some pretty ingrained habits and habits can even be ways of relating to people. In the community I belong to now, we're doing a lot of work on boundaries. Whew, that's a tough one for me. As a people pleaser, a people pleaser in recovery. And, as I progress and grow my boundaries muscles, I have to ask myself that question a lot. Like, even if I set this healthy boundary up for myself, or that's even how I maybe decide whether to make a boundary or not, because boundaries have consequences. And even if, am I okay with this consequence? Even if. We don't avoid consequences. So you've got to either be okay with the consequence of staying the same or things staying the same, or you make a change. But either way, so even if, it's a really good question that, so I'm just going to leave that there, because if you can follow that rabbit trail, even if, down the path and keep saying yes, 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 then it goes from just being a want or desire to, I've got to do this. I have to do this. And a change like that and a drive like that can leave a legacy like no other. And you're leaving a legacy regardless. But are you going to be intentional about it, even if? And those definitely, Martin Luther King probably asked himself this type of question, even if it wasn't exactly the way I'm explaining it. He had these internal conversations with himself and with his God and with his assignment. And he said, even if, like he knew he was going to be assassinated. He knew it, that he knew it, that he knew it. And he said, even if. And he said, yes, it is worth it if what I do makes such an impact that the tides of the way people look at each other begin to turn and turn in the direction that everybody realizes that they are made in the image of God and they can look at each other and see the truth in that. And we can get rid of discrimination, hatred, racism, sexism, ageism, so many things that we deal with because we, have these things that are passed down to us and that we don't like to admit. Like, it's hard. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. So what is maybe rattling around in your heart that you want, but you're not making a decision? Hey, friend from England, I love you, Victoria. But what is rattling around in your heart that you could really go deep with and drive a stake in the ground and say, even if, I must do this. I must do this. Even if I look like a crazy person out in my backyard in the dusting of snow going, what is this lady doing? I don't know, but I'm doing it because I must. I must. God has planted this in my heart, and it seems to unfold every day. And we are just going to be on this adventure and see where it goes. Even if people don't get it, they think it's weird, whatever. Even if. All right. We're not going to see a sunrise this morning, but you get to see my house and my dogs. That's what I really wanted to show you this morning, and why I stayed home, so that those two so I could spend some time with them, because they've been watching me leave the house every morning, and so I wanted to stick with them. All right, go have a great Monday and do something to honor Martin Luther King and his I Have a Dream vision that he was willing to sacrifice his life for and die on that hill, and go treat somebody like the person that they are, made in the image of God. We all are. And we're here, and we all have something to offer, even if we don't act like it, or even if we don't know it and we're confused. Help bring some hope to somebody who's struggling. Bye.